He had stayed up late for weeks preparing the pitch of a brilliant marketing idea. He was the intern. The presentation day arrived. The manager, confident and smiling, walked to the front. The intern sat quietly. The manager opened the pitch file, the one the intern had made. The manager began, "My team and I came up with this concept." He didn't mention the intern once. The boss, visibly impressed on all of the ideas that the intern had built from scratch. The manager was taking credit for every single point. The intern felt a rush of anger but said nothing. He knew one complaint could cost his job. He needed the opportunity more than recognition. When the presentation ended, the boss stood up. "This is excellent work. Let's move forward immediately." The manager looked proud. The intern looked down at his notebook, silent. A few hours later, the manager walked to the intern's desk with a coffee in hand. "Good work, intern," he said. "Now we need to execute it. You know the details better than anyone. Start setting it up." Then he left for a long lunch. Over the next several weeks, the intern worked harder than he ever had. He reviewed every step. He found small flaws in the plan, details the manager hadn't cared to notice. The intern quietly fixed them. He adjusted the strategy and ensured that the data reports looked clean. The manager didn't even read the reports in full. He just checked boxes and sent approvals. The intern focused on quality. Soon, the marketing campaign went live, but within 3 days, the results started falling apart. The idea was strong, but it was built around a social media trend that was already dying. By the time the campaign launched, the trend was over. What looked modern a month ago now looked old. Sales were flat. The boss was furious. An emergency meeting was called. The manager was feeling nervous before it even began. "What happened?" the boss demanded. "This was supposed to be a breakthrough." The manager immediately shifted blame. "The intern didn't follow the plan exactly," he said loudly. "He went off script. That's why it failed." The intern stayed silent. Everyone in the room stared at him. The boss finally speaks. "Is that true, intern? Did you mess up the execution?" The intern looked up. "The original plan did fail," he said. "It was based on an outdated social media strategy. I saw that risk weeks ago." The manager frowned. He continued, "But I also created a secondary campaign. Using leftover budget, I built a smaller, experimental version. I didn't mention it because I wanted to be sure before showing results." The screen displayed performance numbers, all far higher than the main campaign. The room went silent. The boss studied the data, then looked at the manager. "You had no idea about this?" The manager said, No, I thought we were following the original." The boss interrupted. "He did follow the original. He also protected us from total failure." The boss turned to the intern. "Your idea failed, but your execution saved it. You understood the risk better than anyone here." Then, in front of everyone, the boss walked to the manager's desk, picked up the main project folder, and handed it directly to the intern. "The manager will now report to you on this project," he said firmly. "You'll lead the next phase. You've proven the difference between someone who talks about vision and someone who actually builds it." The manager stood frozen. Comment yes if you think the boss did the right thing.